Hey, is this thing on? Hello? Hey, is this thing on? Hey, is it? Huh. There's a light on right now, sure. Shining, pretty good, I gotta say, so I guess it's on. Listen here, all you YouTubers out there. There was some news today that was kind of broken today that, I gotta talk about real quick. So, our good old buddy, good old Dino, Dean Ambrose, the lunatic fringe, the moral compass of WWE, apparently revealed over the weekend, it was revealed today, that Dean Ambrose is leaving WWE after WrestleMania 35 in April. Now, he was offered a 5-year contract. I don't know how much it was worth, but it wasn't the money issue that Ambrose was having. It was, the creative direction he was going. That's the issue, he had, his character. And honestly, I was a little curious. I mean, as far as my thoughts as to whether Dean Ambrose is leaving, which he is leaving for sure. I mean, I was told by a few people this morning, but rumors speculating that Dean Ambrose may be leaving WWE after WrestleMania, which I thought, okay, it's just a rumor. Maybe it's not true. Who knows what is going to happen. But then, while I was eating dinner, thank goodness, my mom had some homemade, leftovers from her delicious homemade macaroni and cheese, which if you ever meet in person, you need to try it because it is awesome. But anyways, this is not about mac and cheese. This is about good old Dino right here. You see, Dean Ambrose, obviously, has a weird booking the past couple days. He was, dumped. He was taken out of the Royal Rumble by Aleister Black, which, okay, reasonable person to eliminate him, but he didn't last that long in a Rumble match, which surprised me a little bit. Also, last night on Raw, he was in a segment where he got put into a match with Seth Rollins, a guy who I was hoping he would face at Fastlane in 3 Stages of Hell to be Rollins' last obstacle before getting to WrestleMania. Because obviously what Ambrose said last night made a lot of sense. Rollins has never been able to beat Dean clean without any help before, and he beat Dean clean last night. So it kind of felt like, they were just moving on, which was disappointing because we all knew that was the feud that was going to, steal the show once Dean turned heel. And unfortunately, it did not. But let's kind of, get to, what all happened? What's kind of led Dean Ambrose probably to get to this boiling point that he's at right now? Well, we have to probably go back to 2016, where Dean Ambrose won the WWE Championship in that amazing, ending to Money in the Bank 2016, where all 3 members of the Shield within the span of 5 minutes had been champion. Roman Reigns was, till Seth Rollins dethroned him. Then Dean Ambrose, who just won Money in the Bank earlier that night, cashed in on Seth Rollins and got his revenge and won. Now, we did have, of course, a Shield triple threat match at Battleground, which was good for what it could be on a B pay-per-view, but obviously a WrestleMania match, those 3 would just tear the house down. But then afterwards, Dean was on this podcast with Stone Cold Steve Austin, where Austin kind of called him out saying he knows he could do better. And ever since then, everyone kind of soured on Ambrose just a little bit. And I didn't really sour on him. I mean, I still always was entertained by Dean Ambrose. See, Dean Ambrose is like me. Dean Ambrose, is the type, as a babyface, he was the type of guy who would just walk into, an area, do something unusual, like something, not anybody normal would do. And you would be like, okay, well, everybody else would be doing that. And he'd act so normal, what? It's all happening. He'll come out to confront Kevin Owens, eating popcorn, so, and just kick your ass and whatnot. Basically, that's, I don't kick ass, but that's basically who I am. But so honestly, we have been one, I'd say ever since mid-2017, after Ambrose dropped the IC title to The Miz, was when I was kind of saying, okay, it's time now. It's time to turn Dean Ambrose heel. And I felt that it was much needed, obviously, and keep this in mind too. I have not watched much WWE. Well, I have not watched I can't talk right now. I have not watched that much wrestling outside of WWE. So I haven't really seen much of Jon Moxley. But obviously, Jon Moxley had a legendary name behind him already, and he was well known. And people, when Dean Ambrose finally did turn heel, last October, the night that Roman Reigns announced he had leukemia, and then he turned heel on Seth Rollins and just burned away. He burned it down, his Shield vest, and that led to him, going to his heel run he's in right now. Which honestly, people wanted Jon Moxley, this dark character they wanted to dig into. Well, what do we get? we got Dean Ambrose being, another, heel goofball, being like a germaphobe, having to wear a gas mask, dressed up like Bane, and getting a weird shot in his ass on live TV on Raw, which that was weird. WWE basically, like Vince McMahon, always obsessed with comedy, had to make Dean Ambrose funny as a heel. Dean Ambrose as a heel is not meant to be funny. He meant to be dark, just vicious, seductive and whatnot, and scary. Not just some silly goofball, pretty much, telling all these, little jokes and whatnot. That's not Dean Ambrose as a heel. And obviously, Ambrose was sick of the whole, goofy stuff. And then they have him last night get pushed out of the ring by Nia Jax. So now I hear today he's leaving. Which, okay, I get it. I'm shocked, but I'm not shocked at the same time because obviously this guy, which honestly, again, I will put it this way also. Dean Ambrose won the United States Championship. A 3-time Intercontinental Champion. He's won 2 or 3 times the tag titles. And he was WWE Champion, of course, also, and Mr. Money in the Bank. So obviously, the guy's a Grand Slam champion. He's not a joke. I never hated the guy. The guy, honestly, is one of my personal favorites. Which is why, of course, he's the second ever shirt I ever buy, besides Daniel Bryan's shirt. Because, the Shield is also one of the hottest acts and one of my favorite things when I first started watching wrestling 6 years ago. But obviously, again, I felt as a champion, Ambrose was never really booked that strong. As a chaser, though, for a champion, he was always booked great. But, honestly, this heel character should have been, him, finding his niche. Like, how it was looking for Paige when Paige first came back from injury in 2017. Like, she was finding her niche. This should have been Dean Ambrose really digging into his niche and really excelling. And he should have been feuding for the Universal title or WWE Championship, whatever brand he would have been on this year. And so if I would stay on Raw. Like, Raw was supposed to be his show. Raw was supposed to be the Ambrose Asylum. And instead, he's just still stuck in the mid-card now, unfortunately. And now it's not going to be the case. I mean, I'm sad I'm not going to be able to see the 3 Stages of Hell match. I've been dying to see between him and Rollins. And I'm not going to be able to see a feud with him and Roman Reigns, which I unfortunately never going to see. But all I ask for WWE is please do not treat this man like a joke his last few months. Don't bury him. Like, you find a way to write him off TV, but don't make him look like a joke. Don't make him feud with Nia Jax. Yeah, have him feud with, Finn Balor or even Aleister Black. If you don't have a match with Dean Ambrose and Aleister Black, Black makes Ambrose fade to black at WrestleMania. That's how Ambrose is written off the show, and he goes on to do whatever he wants to do in AEW or ROH, bring back the CZW that still exists. Go for it. But just don't make this guy look like a joke. Because the guy's a workhorse. Before he was injured in 2017 with his tricep injury, he was out for 8 or 9 months. Apparently almost died from a staph infection, just to remind you about that. The guy worked how many days? He was one of the biggest workhorses in the company. He worked probably some of the most pay-per-views, the most days out of the year. The guy did a ton for this company. So don't you even dare think about writing him off your show like a joke over the last few months he's with the company. So, I won't deny, a little sad. I'm going to miss old Dino, but, maybe he'll come back someday. If not, then, I wish him nothing but the best. But, before we check out here, I wanted to perform a little spooky magic trick that Ambrose learned back in 2014 when he feuded with Bray Wyatt. And you guys remember all your boneheads? It goes something like, video recording. I'm not actually live on YouTube right now, as you can probably tell, because there was no live chat for this video. Just a comment section and likes to definitely use your fingers to leave your comments and slap a like. There's also a subscribe button. You can subscribe to my channel. But I've really been in my basement this whole entire time recording on my cell phone in the dark, because that's what Dean Ambrose needed to be, dark and mysterious. And I will be uploading this video in a few minutes to YouTube, and then I will be watching SmackDown, sitting on my couch, which is what I'm actually doing right now as this video is being first presented. So I'm really not here right now. I'm out there ready to kick all your butts here on YouTube. Just remember, everybody, subscribe to the channel. If you don't like what I have to say, then run.